You guys, good morning, and thank you so much for joining today. I had a little bit of technical issues this morning, but I appreciate you taking time to be with us. I have a few people from our team on this morning with us. Clay Howard, which I think a lot of you guys know already.
Morning, everybody.
And I have Jasmine, who's over our web team.
Hey, everyone.
And Miss Kim over our marketing team.
Morning.
And Miss Kathy, who's over our customer service and training team. You guys, I wanted to take a moment and go over some of the new information as well as some of the new programs that we have available as we're rolling out of 2020 and into 2021. And I want to leave the table open for any questions you guys might have as well. So first and foremost, I'm going to get started with a case study that was put together in combination working with Ben and David Mastrangelo as we pulled together all of the results of the dealers who we have on board who are Goodman, Amana, Daikin customers, as well as some of the Franklin as well. Essentially what they did is they took all of the clients who are working with CI Web Group, this first set of accounts. We've got more people joining. So what this report shows is essentially, this is Canada, the North, South, and West. These are all of the accounts that were matched with as CI Web Group customers. And this compares them to all of the other accounts. Obviously the ones above. The second batch is only the ones who are assigned to TSM. So you're going to have all of the accounts that are branch accounts working with MMC and so forth in the top section. And then the matched accounts that are TSM accounts here compared to ones that are working with CI Web Group. So overall, what we've noticed is when it comes to the TSM accounts, those are typically the ones that are doing a website as well as some kind of marketing usually. And typically they're buying 4 times the volume in products, equipment, as well as systems, as well as their overall financing. When it comes to house accounts, they're about double the amount. So once we get them into a new website, they may not invest in content and marketing, but they do have a little bit of an increase just getting some of the easier to compete with terms ranked on page 1 of Google, even without some marketing efforts. So that typically happens in areas where you have less competition, more rural areas. You guys, before we jump in, do you have any questions on this before we dive into how these results take place? And this is the first time that Goodman's really done this. We've always known on our end that when a dealer comes to work with us, they start out, at ground zero. They usually don't have very much traffic. They don't have very much visibility to consumers. And then over time, we're able to get them ranked. Typically, it takes us a year depending on how competitive their marketplace is, what the size of their marketplace is, and so forth. But we've never been able to back it to, are they buying more equipment? Are they doing more business with you guys? So this is the first time, and they use the Tableau system, and hopefully it's one of the projects they're working on is to really tie in all of the purchases and sales data for each one of the accounts so that we all and you guys have real-time data on what are the accounts that are positioned well with strong websites and strong digital marketing efforts doing as far as total purchases compared to those who are not. Now, the interesting part is when it comes down to who we're working with, the majority of the dealers who are working with CI Web Group across the board are typically new to Goodman, Amana, and Daikin. typically they were used for recruiting purposes. So we're at the Houston event, we're standing on stage trying to help you guys recruit new dealers. And that's usually how new business starts. It wasn't until this year that TSMs that have been working with us for a long time, they have dealers that have been with us for longer than a year, really started tying it to, this is how I can take my existing dealer base and get them to buy more product from us. We've usually been used as that recruiting tool. So how do we get these guys to grow? It's relatively simple. Consumers in your marketplace are looking for search terms related to heating and air conditioning. They're looking for AC repair, AC installation. Right now, they're looking obviously for furnace installation, furnace replacement, furnace tune-ups, furnace maintenance, furnace repair. In each of the cities, your team's ability to have their dealers acquire new customers, it's based on a primary question of, are they an option when a consumer is searching? And the answer is either yes or no. And if yes, how frequently are they an option? And for how many phrases? In how many cities are they an option? What's their impression rate? So our job, the hard part is we're typically starting with a project that doesn't produce any revenue. Building a website doesn't make dealers money. Unless you're in a really rural area and have limited competition digitally, building a website does not make your phone ring. But it's the hardest part of the project, including the first 3, 6, or 12 months it takes to make that single page on a website be an option to a consumer looking to buy a new heating or air conditioning system. That's the hardest time frame. Mentally, it's the hardest time frame. Emotionally, it's the hardest time frame, because you have somebody that's investing in something that's not producing a return for whatever duration of time that is. If we're trying to make a single page on a website, page number 1 of 300,000 pages, we can do that in a couple months. If we're trying to make a page like furnace installation or furnace repair show up as number 1 of 10 million pages, it'll take a year. Could take longer. That ladder changes. So the mathematics behind you guys getting more business is essentially identifying, for every TSM, you've got 50 accounts. Right? If we were to take those 50 accounts and analyze how many of the pages that they have right now are sitting on page 1 of Google, that's going to give us a visibility ranking. And by increasing those pages' rankings, and sometimes we have to rebuild a website to do that, most of the time we have to, by increasing each one of those rankings of each page, so that as consumers are doing those searches and typing in, looking for solutions, that your dealers, those 50 accounts, are visible. They are an option. They are seen when consumers search. They do have a page that shows that they should get a click through. They are getting click through to their site. They aren't scaring away consumers when they get there. That's their bounce rate down here. They are converting new leads because they do have the option to allow consumers to send in a text message or chat with a bot on a weekend or at 2 o'clock in the morning, or ask for help on a holiday, even though their office is closed. They give them many ways to convert. And their customer service team is trained and knows how to acquire new customers. The more that we can modify this pipeline, this funnel for each one of your TSM's dealer groups, the more we can increase rankings, that increased visibility, it increases traffic, then it increases conversion, it brings them in more leads, They have more opportunities to sell. The more leads they have, the higher they can price their equipment, the more efficient, high efficiency sales they can sell. The better they provide their service, the more reviews they get, and then we start again. We can repeat the cycle for a new search term in a new city. So this is what this case study has a lot of different examples of kind of how dealers come to us. Usually they come to us drowning. They're in the bottom of the pack. Most of the clients, now we have a handful of customers that have came to us that have a little bit of traffic. There might be ranking for a handful of phrases, or they're ranking in the city that they have an office. That's about it. There's not very many of them that come to us positioned well. So when they start, this gives you an example. This is year one. This is for AccuTemp. The amount of traffic is under, so I think it was under 10 searches or 10 visitors that came to their site when they first started. And Kim's team has been able to get them up over 300 searches. Their highest month was in October. Kim, where are these? This is Florida, right?
Yeah, Flagler Beach, Florida.
So these guys, do you want to just talk a little bit about your experience with Chuck and what it's done for his business for a second?
Sure. Well, I first got to say Chuck is one of my favorite humans on this earth. He is amazing. I work with him. I talk with him like every day. He has been so he's been one of the most powerful dealers I've ever worked with, because he has this drive in him. He's like, I will succeed. I will get there. And with working with him, I mean, he's sent me videos, he sent me pictures, and he started out with not really having anything. And now I think he's booked out with AC installs all the way to the end of this year. He's a Daikin dealer. He's out of Flagler County, Florida, so right smack dab in between Palm Coast and Daytona Beach. And he's killing it. Everything that he does is just, man, it's like turning into gold, you know?
So it's really good. This is pretty regular, the stories. And I'm not sure if you guys are familiar. We have over 500 heating and air conditioning companies, of which 80% of them have been with us for over 4 years. And on top of that, our retention rate with our dealers right now, we're sitting at a 2.3% churn rate. So our retention rate is over 98%. If you get them past 1 year, if we can keep them stable past the first year, the hard year, then it increases even further after that. This is another example of Big Valley as they came in, literally sitting in the middle of nowhere. What we're trying to do is mathematically change the total number of pages that rank on page one. The higher the number of pages that rank on page one, so these guys in 1 year were real heavy into content and got to the point where we have over 1,000 unique visitors coming to the site searching for heating and air conditioning related phrases. 86% of the entire volume of people coming to the site are brand new. They've never been there before. If you can imagine the kind of volume that does for a dealer, it's a huge, huge benefit for them. And then as we go through, there are other tons of case studies in here and it'll show what the customer's thoughts are, how they started, and essentially what happens over time. It's not something we can rush. I can't modify Google. I can't change Google's rankings instantly. It takes time to do that. But if you have 25% or 50% of your dealers, your accounts, your 50 accounts sitting on page one of Google, and each one of them has 400 or 1,000 new visitors per month, everything changes. It gives you the ability, again, to present higher ticket items, higher profit items. They can take better care of their team. The dealers are in a significantly better position once they have enough visibility and enough traffic to be able to drive leads. it's this period right here that's difficult. The one when they're sitting on page 2 of Google. If I go through our cancellations this year, I think we have 6 whole account cancellations this year. And every single one of them either sold their business and retired, or they wound up bringing in an internal marketing team that is maintaining what we've got them. If I look at the prior years, it wasn't necessarily like that because we were learning. Essentially, how do we get a dealer to invest in the right things? So the main differences between this year and last year for us, well, one, a pandemic, so we kind of had a lot of time on our hands. We got to stay still for a while. So in that, what we noticed was the dealers, they have to enroll in marketing. So this year, the majority of dealers that started with us, we gave them a free website as long as they enrolled in an SEO and content plan. And that was a huge change, a big differentiator for the dealers because they didn't just sign up for a website hosting and maintenance and then wonder why their phone didn't ring. Everyone that's going to start with us, you're going into a marketing plan. But they have to have too much business or really refuse to have any kind of new business for us to bring on a client these days that doesn't enroll in a content marketing plan. Has to happen that way. So you guys, there's tons of different case studies in here. They all tell a similar story. It takes time. It takes energy. They all have client stories that they've responded and given different testimonials, just sharing a little of their experience in working with us. I like the fact that the response is that we have our customer service is down pat and that they love working with our team. Those are the two kinds of feedback that I see across the board in all of our clients' responses, definitely after they make it to that year 2 mark. But this gives you lots of different examples. Inside here as well, there is a quick checklist. It's really simple. When you're visiting with your customers, the very first thing is do they have a website set up? This year has shown they got to have some kind of e-commerce on their site. Right now, for example, for all of you, we are giving away a free e-commerce engine that allows them to sell filters on auto ship on recurring subscriptions on their website, and it costs nothing, and we'll implement that on any dealer's website. That is a great reason to pick up the phone, call a dealer and say, hey, I've got my marketing company. They're set up with a great new tool. We've got to get e-commerce on our sites. I mean, if this year didn't show us anything, consumers want to be able to buy online. They want to be able to go through a virtual sales presentation. They want to be able to sign up for their filters, have them auto ship to their house. The majority of consumers have made their entire lives on auto ship on some site. That's what they've done this year. Everyone has figured out how to get everything they need. They have their new meat delivery. They have their new filter delivery. They have their water delivered. That's what this has done. We've got to make sure the dealers are positioned to do that. And that's a great tool. It's an entry level into a full e-commerce, but that is something we want to give you guys as a tool to pick up the phone and have these conversations and see if you can set up a strategy session. Second, we've got to make sure these guys are open 24/7. Their websites have to be open. If you go to your dealer's website and there's nowhere to chat, you can't schedule online, you can't send in a text. If it's an old school website with the web form, contact us, and a phone number, they are losing business. Everybody who is taking care of their personal tiny to-do list at nights, on evenings and weekends, they're skipping over those sites, or they're filling out 3 or 4 contact us forms on websites. They're automatically in competition. So we can help them fix that by implementing some quick tools. If they want to be an option for consumers, this is number 1. Get these things in place and make sure they're on a content and SEO plan. Make sure that we have call tracking in place so we know where the ball is being dropped. The amount of customers we've found that have call tracking in place, we get them on page 1 of Google, they start getting leads in the door, we're tracking all of their calls, listening to those calls, and we notice that they've got a cranky person answering the phones, or they're not answering the phones. This right here will help them modify the financial of their business. Now, everything else, it's needed. We got to make sure their local listings aren't sending them to their competitor. We need to make sure their social media site doesn't look like they closed a year and a half ago. We need to make sure their reviews don't scare the heck out of every customer coming in. So these are important, but these don't mean a lot if you're not sitting on page 1 of Google getting new leads. And the final 2 pieces is if you have dealers that have a really good position online and they need to be able to ramp up or ramp down, turn up or turn off leads for installation, replacement, service or repair, we have a program called Leads XM that is a pay per lead program. It's $150 a lead. It requires a minimum of 50. They're exclusive leads. We pay in front everything. We set up the landing pages. We set up all the functionality. We set up the marketing. We pay for the all the marketing out of the gate. All they do is pay $150 per lead, but they have to have a minimum. They have to be able to manage a minimum of 50 leads per month. So this is for a bigger account that needs some filler space for months that maybe they want to increase their total lead volume. And we do this through setting up ClickFunnels. This is essentially your target list for all dealers of all sizes. All dealers of all sizes. For a very entry level, maybe a 2 or a 3 person shop, a website, content, and SEO plan, including hosting, it starts at $400 a month. That's through our fast track program. All right, so you guys have access to this information. This is the fast track program, and we can customize one of these sheets just for your region. But this is the program we're seeing the most success with right now to get people enrolled in the program. So the entry level is $400 or $4,500. And for you guys, we can direct bill. So if a dealer has $4,500 sitting in their accrual funds account right now, let's not wait until March when our volume is so huge that it's taking us 3 to 6 months and we miss our entire summer season. Let's start right now so that we can get a website built between December and January, get that baby live by February, start marketing February, March, April, and May, and have them positioned well so that they can start getting some phone calls in the summer. When we wait until March, we hurt ourselves. When we put a dealer, the accrual season date is the worst date we could ever start for us. If we start a project in March and it takes March and April and May for us to get a website live, and then we start driving content in June and July, summer season's over, we're working on winter. So the window that those dealers have to sit without having a website that's performing, without having new leads coming in, it's 7 months to 8 months instead of that 4 to 6 month window. It really changes everything. So that's a big deal, and it's just a fact of timing. This gives them the ability to get into a website. We start on SEO. We are choosing the top 5, 10, 20, or 40 primary search phrases, the most frequently searched phrases, the most difficult phrases out of the pack. We're not choosing the easy ones. The easy ones are going to happen naturally. We're choosing the most difficult, which means a lot of consumers are searching. So if we understand these numbers, if 100 consumers are searching for AC installation, If you're sitting on page 1, position 1, you're looking at 70% of those are going to see your company's website. You're looking at 30% are going to convert. 50% of that 30% are going to bounce and leave. They're going to look at the site and leave. What percent of the 20 opportunities do you have that you close into new business? For you guys, you're looking at that math times 50. 50 accounts in your area. When you put that math on a spreadsheet, you can literally forecast your future on a spreadsheet by understanding just those numbers. All right, so that gives you some examples. This is an example of the case study for the Leads XM program. So in a 4-month period, and that was this year, so against all odds, in a 4-month period, we were able to generate 556 leads. The dealer set 296 appointments and closed 90 new installation projects. This was only installation and replacement leads. They didn't do any of the service and repair. And we had so many bookings on their calendar that they had to go. They started at 72 leads the first month, then 117. Then we didn't know we could bring in this many, but 264 in the last one. And then they brought it back down and said, let's cut that in half because we've already got installations booked out for the next 90 days. This is the pay-per-lead program, definitely for a bigger account. Things that are required for them to participate in this: they have to have a sales process. They have to return, they have to have a website that has less than a 55% bounce rate. So if they're scaring all their clients away, that's not going to help. They have to have lead response times of out within hours, not days. So if they say it takes me 2 days to get back to a lead, not going to happen. And the final one is they have to have a strong reputation score. If they have no reviews or bad reviews across the board, if their average ranking is a 3, that's not going to work. Because we know that we're funding, we know that we're funding the marketing efforts behind this, and we know what drives consumers to check out or what drives consumers to stay and do business. So our version of who's accepted in this program should be the same logic we apply to every dealer, right? If a dealer has a website that's scaring people away or their bounce rate is out through the roof, that needs to get fixed. If they have poor reputation score, that needs to get fixed. If they're not visible in front of consumers searching, that needs to get fixed. If we fix those 3 things and they have excellent customer response times, lead response times, excellent customer response times, game on, we can do as much business as we want. You guys, your sales numbers will change drastically. This is the flyer for the Leads XM program. Again, any of the program flyers that we've made, we can customize them for you. And I'm going to show you how to access all these. Also, we have the HVAC marketing guide. This essentially has all of our products, services, plans, programs, and pricing. Everything is inside of one guide. It's all transparent. It's in there the entire year. It also, at the very end of it, we include promotions that are available for that month. So every month we run different promotions, and those are always in the guide. You can always go back to it and see that as well. You guys, any questions on the case study before I jump into the next thing? Questions or thoughts? All right, easy enough. So the next item that we want to make sure you have access to, we're trying to give you guys things that give you a reason to pick up the phone, talk to your dealer, give an item of value, give something to them, and then recommend that they set up a strategy session. For all of your dealers, we've designed over 100 social marketing graphics that they can have access absolutely free There's everything from, these are all, and let me show you what they look like so you can get an idea. So we have everything seasonally as they come up. We just finished Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Veterans Day. There's things regarding maintenance programs, tune-ups, replacement, IAQ items in here. We've got things such as, we're proud to be an essential service provider. We've built this giant library, and we want to make sure that your dealers have access to these. It's complimentary. All that we ask is that they set up a strategy session with us. And then there's just motivational things in there. Of course, there are things like Save the Planet, financing. This is what we did for Halloween. You guys, social media can be really, really daunting for your dealers. It's not a task that they love doing. Most of them do not love it. So if we can ease the burden a little bit by providing them with some pre-made, ready to go, post anytime graphics, it makes it a lot easier for them. And if they want to sign up for a posting plan where we do it for them, we can absolutely do that. But this is for them where they can post them themselves. We need to keep their social media accounts active. Their website depends on it. Their traffic depends on it. Their visibility depends on it. Their rankings. Google uses all of the dealers' local listings, social media sites, directory sites, and map sites as indexes for the validity of the website. The stronger their social networks are, the stronger their local directories are, the stronger their website's ranking. So when we have a dealer that only participates in SEO and they don't manage their social media, they don't manage their local listings, they don't manage their reviews real well, we have to work significantly harder to get the same results as someone that's making sure that all of those things are managed. So we're literally to the point where we will give away graphics for free. If you don't want to sign up for a social media plan, that's fine. But help me help you. Here's the graphics. Keep it active. Publish these out to your networks so that we can make some progress. We're trying to eliminate every possible hurdle we can that are usually things that decisions dealers make that prevent them from making progress. Any questions on the My Social Media graphics? And Clay, if you guys want to submit these, the links in here so they all have them in the chat, but we'll also follow up with an email afterwards.
Jennifer, this is Rick.
Hi, Rick.
Hi, good morning. Hey, are these just for social media or can they be put on their website?
They can absolutely put them on their website.
Okay.
Absolutely. And it increases their, so you want to be careful. We don't want them to put them all over the homepage of their site because that's going to slow their load time and that hurts their SEO. We do want them to, they can absolutely load them in a YouTube channel. If they're a video, if it's an image, they can just download it and put it on their website. If it's a video, putting them on the interior of the site in like an embed code from YouTube is not going to hurt the site, but they would not want to load MP4 files on into their site's database because that is going to make that site really big and slow it way, way down, which also hurts SEO.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good question. Remember, the main thing about all of this is SEO, SEO, SEO. Search engine optimization. You make dealers an option on page 1 of Google where people who want to buy their stuff can find them. Hallelujah. We've got a working plan. That's what works. All right. Any other questions on this before I jump off? Okay. We still got people joining. So next, we've created a, and I think we might have people joining from the next group, but that's okay. They get a dose of 2. We have a folder that we have built for you guys to access different program flyers, and we can build anything, the more that you guys treat us as your staff, I'm going to say that, as your partners, your team, when you start learning our team, the difference in TSMs that, and we're measuring and looking at this year is all about business intelligence and reporting. When we take a group of TSMs and we look at the difference between those TSMs that set up account review meetings, meaning they'll take all of their 50 accounts, put them in a spreadsheet, get on a phone with Clay, Kim, and Jazz. We'll do an entire analysis on that entire spreadsheet. We'll prioritize every one of them and show these are the dealers sitting on page 1 of Google's. These guys are completely invisible to everyone. And these ones have the lowest competition and are least visible. So your priority is, let's go after the lowest competition, the ones that are in the lowest competition areas, and have no visibility right now, because you're going to notice a difference in your bottom line and your purchases from your dealers when we take somebody who doesn't exist and make them an option. Once they start getting phone calls, they start buying more, and that takes time. So inside this folder, it's the TSM marketing guide, and here we have a ton of different and for those of you that are joining early for the 10 o'clock, just hang tight. Stay with us. It's for you too. So each one of these program guides has information. For example, you've got accrual funds. What would you say to them? We'll pay for your website. Just sign up for a marketing plan. Schedule a free strategy session, download the guide, leverage the resources that are available. There's different kind of promotions that are sitting inside here. If somebody says, I need a new website, there's a flyer for that. If a dealer says, I need help with marketing, there's a flyer for that. They're saying, I need more leads, or my phone's not ringing, there's a flyer for that. So what we're trying to do is, with all of our communication with all the TSMs, we hear what the dealers are saying. We're trying to make sure that you have a program flyer for each one of those scenarios. If they say, I need help with posting on my social media site, you can say, I can get you a discount for that. You guys have access to lower pricing than anything we have public. You have access to programs that don't exist online, and you have an entire design team that if you want us to build you something, let's say that right now you need a reason to call your dealers. That's can be a happy conversation. We could design you a graphics pack that's all holiday graphics pack for a special promotion, complimentary. Contact all your dealers and say, hey, you guys, I have my marketing team, all of these graphics for you guys for the holidays. I want to make sure every one of you is, promoting something for Cyber Week, that's promoting something for the holidays. All I ask is that you set up a strategy session with my marketing team. I noticed that you guys aren't ranked. You're not sitting on page 1 of Google for a lot of the phrases and a lot of the areas you want to serve. And we want to take care of that. Yeah. There's also items in here such as you've got accrual funds. If you have dealers that are sitting on funds right now, don't wait till March. We're ready for summer. We don't want them working on this stuff during summer, because once they start a site, they disappear as soon as summer starts, and then we can't get them to go live. So what's the point in building a website and then having it sit in our pipeline for 6 months as we're waiting for summer to end because we can't get them to say, yes, it's approved, go live. We can't get them online. So if we can start now is time. All right, last piece before we wrap up. For those of you, just check out this Johnstone Bloomington site. These websites we're building for regions. SW. For the Southwest Division, essentially it's a local dealer hub. So we're working with the southern region, northern region, Arizona region right now to build these local dealers. Yes, sir. Oh, so this will allow us to be able to help you guys organize Partner Link, your business toolbox, the brand academy, your e-commerce site, dealer rewards program. You guys have a lot of different websites. So this has been a tool that we've used regionally to be able to help tie everything in where that region has one website where their dealers have a private place because it's restricted to member login. That they have the ability to join the club for the region. They can network with each other, just like social media. So they can publish posts and comment. They have forums and discussions and blogs. We also have the ability to host an entire virtual dealer meeting. If you guys get ready or are interested in hosting a virtual dealer meeting, this is what we're using. And it's been extremely well. Right now, we have an event that starts today at 2:30. We've got 150 dealers registered for that event. We've got, I think, 13 speakers, 4 keynotes. So this is a great solution, and that there is more information, which we'll make sure you have in the summary email at virtualdealermeeting.com. With that, open for questions. I've got another group joining us. Mitch, do you or any of your team have any questions or thoughts on some of the tools and programs that we've got created for this year?
Like everything we're looking at, I love the flyers that we can access for our customers. No, thank you for the info. I'll turn it over to the TSMs if they have anything for you guys.
All right, you guys, we will send you guys an email, and if you're just being shy on the call, set up a strategy session. We are responsible for.
So, what's going to happen with your dinner date? You know, she can't help it. Sucks, but she can't help it.
I got it. Maybe it all. All right. So you guys, if you have a dealer you want us to take a look at, or you want us to look at your entire list and put our team on going to work, I think it's TSM. It's ciwebgroup.com/TSM. This is the main page, ciwebgroup.com/TSM. You can refer a dealer or upload your list, and all we need is a website. We don't need all their contact information when it comes to an entire list. Give us a website, put our team to work. We'll go through and analyze who's ranked, who's not, who's the top priority to have conversations with, where's the greatest opportunity with the least competition, where can we do the most or have the greatest impact across that list, and put our team to work over the holidays. We would love to be able to go through your list for you and give you guys back a report that shows out of your 50 dealers, these are the ones that are positioned well and these are the ones that are not. So make sure you jot that at ciwebgroup.com/TSM. This is the easiest place to go. Just click start here, and it's like 6 questions, and you can submit your referrals. This is the report that we're sending back that shows which TSMs are most active, which Master Angelo and his team has asked us to share. So feel free to use this form as frequently as possible. Other than that, I hope you guys have a wonderful holiday, and let's make this an incredible 2021.